For exclusive content that Shakaama offers, join us over at Patreon as supporter of the Shakaama Live Show. That's video content you won't see on YouTube that can help you grow and maintain your wealth, financial education wrapped up in plain English, and video series of interesting and thought-provoking topics. Join us at bit.ly/patronshack. It's the first link in the information box. Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. Here are 3 characteristics of my channel that I want you to keep in mind. Number 1, I am super anal about every word that comes out of my mouth. Also, I'm super anal in general. Anything that I do, I want it to be perfect. As such, I study and this is one of the big frustrations that I have with my channel. You see a video, and that's all you see. I had a dude come over here who didn't know anything about YouTube. And he said, I want to use your computer. So I said, okay. And he sat down and he looked at my computer and he was like, oh my God, what is all this? I said, this is what I do. I research all of this. And he says, you have too many things going on here. This is outrageous. This is crazy. So I had to pull up a completely different browser for him to use to get to the internet. I am super anal about everything that I do. I research. In school, my student job was to be the researcher for the professors. I did research in law school that then turned into law. This is who I am. I'm not some dude that just reads trending topics on Facebook and Yahoo and reads the title and makes a video about it. You best believe, more than likely, any video that you see, I've already been researching for at least 3 months. And probably, if you look through my videos, you'll find that I've already done a video of it a year ago, 2 years ago, and 3 years ago. As I progress in quality and everything, and I figure out more of how to utilize, I hate that's not a word, how I use the software that's at my disposal and learn more about it, I remake some of the videos and redo some of the research to keep up to date. Now, we're talking about vegans. Veganism is a cult. Why is it a cult? Because it's not based in truth, it's not based in fact, it's not based in research. Why do I say that? Because that's exactly what the researchers say. The researchers have come right out and said there has never been a study on strict veganism. Problem number 2. Quality number 2 about my channel. I care about humanity. I am libertarian. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican. I'm libertarian and a Pan-Africanist. I care about the equality and the prosperity of all human beings, no matter what they actually believe. I don't care what you believe, but from my perspective, you're a human. I was just on Twitter, and I have listed on one of my Twitter lists 2 guys who are completely opposed, polar opposites politically. But I have them on my best buddy list. And when I started tweeting to and including both of them in my tweets, one guy turns to me and says, "Who's this other guy? You have a Trump supporter that you're tweeting to with me?" I say, "Well, as far as I'm concerned," he already knows I'm libertarian. "As far as I'm concerned, you're both human, right?" He goes, "Yeah, you have that right." They're great guys, but they're political opposites, and they make disparaging remarks about the other side, right? You know how it is. Same party, just different politicians that they're supporting. As far as I'm concerned, you're all human, and I wish life and prosperity for all of you. Why would I make a video disparaging veganism? Because it ends in death. And I don't mean all humans die. I mean, it literally ends in death. It is fatal. And the research bears that out. The research does not bear out that people live longer being a vegan. The research bears out the exact opposite. That you have a higher incidence of cancer, that you have a higher, that you develop, if you're a strict vegan or vegetarian, you can develop wasting disease in your muscles, which is irreversible and fatal. I consider it my duty as a person who cares about humans to tell you, here is the research. I don't care what your guru told you. I don't care what your Swami told you. I don't care what your white guy who's balding but he has a ponytail told you. I don't care what your hot yoga teacher told you. And that does not mean a yoga teacher who's good looking. That means you go do yoga in a very hot room and you're naked. I don't care what your hot yoga teacher told you. The research says it is fatal. If you're strict with it, it is fatal. Now here's a problem with veganism. No two vegans do veganism the same way. Now, there is now a growing group, a vocal growing group of ex-vegans. People who were in veganism and are coming out and speaking out against it and admitting that indeed it is a cult. It is not a diet. It's not a fad diet. It's not a diet. It's a cult. A fad diet would be something that when you're on it, you lose weight or you get a six pack or whatever, and then it's over, right? It's unsustainable. Well, there are vegans, because no two vegans approach veganism the same. You have vegans who do treat it as a fad diet. What do? They use it as a cleanser. Now, I actually agree with that. And of course, all of those people are vegans for about a month, maybe two, and then they quit. Now, I actually agree with that. Why? Because it's unsustainable. According to the research, veganism, period, is unsustainable. And a lot of the vegans who criticize the ex-vegans for speaking out say, oh, you're one of those fad vegan people, those cleansing vegan people, and that's why you are an ex-vegan. You came out of it because you treated veganism as a cleansing mechanism, as a fad diet, unsustainably. You can't sustain low calorie deficit plus cleansing, which vacuates all of your bowels or your intestines or whatever, or your gut. You can't vacuate your gut all the time and have a calorie deficit that's unsustainable. Sooner or later, you're going to get hungry, seriously hungry, and you're going to develop all of these muscular diseases much quicker than those who say that they eat a more rounded diet. But there's the vegan diet number 2, which is they eat a whole bunch of cookies and cakes and breads and yes, and all sorts of stuff like that. And occasionally they eat beans, and they call that veganism. Now, you can't say they're not vegans because there's a whole bunch of them. They eat packaged food. There's a whole bunch of them. You can't say that they got it wrong and you got it right, because I believe there's actually more of those than there are of the third kind. And the third kind, those who are quote unquote vegetarian type of vegans, that they eat a lot of vegetables. Those are very few and far between. The majority of vegans actually eat horribly. And it's only the vegetarian type of, when I say vegetarian, I'm talking about the sort of like vegetable eating vegans. A lot of the doctors who did the research and study on vegans said that they ate more vegetables than the actual vegans, and that the vegetables can be sustainable for a short period of time. Anybody who does the research says veganism is a short-term thing. You should not do it long-term because it can be both fatal and detrimental. And another researcher, and a whole group of researchers said, veganism is not for everybody. And that's why you get this sort of cultish attitude coming from vegans, because they believe it's one size fits all. We're going to force you to be a vegan, when in fact, you have entire segments of the populations who cannot be vegan, who immediately, let's say they're the vegetarian vegan types, who are eating properly, eating vegetables, eating fruits, eating beans. Let's say that, and that's the proper way to do it, immediately get sick. Immediately. And I mean deathly sick. It is not a one size fits all. So put away this cultish stuff, and the research says it is a temporary diet. You cannot sustainably do this. Now, in my video talking specifically about black men in the Northern Hemisphere, very specific, and I said you cannot be vegan. You can't. You will be killing yourself. So I'm not talking about white guys. I'm not talking about white women, nor Latino men and women, nor Asian men and women. I'm not even talking about black women. I'm specifically talking about dark-skinned black men in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, all of you vegans who are trying to claim that I don't know what I'm talking about, do you have a study about black male vegans living in the Northern Hemisphere? Do you? No, you don't. Why? Because no vegan has ever done a study to prove that being black male living in the Northern Hemisphere has a positive influence. No, but there has been a study that shows that black male living in the Northern Hemisphere has a detrimental effect if you try to be vegan across the board. Musculature, health, nutrition, just across the board. Everything that you could check on. Check, bad. There has been research on that, but there has not been vegans researching it that have come out with a positive counter study to that. But you have vegans coming out of the woodworks trying to shut me down, trying to claim that they know something that they don't, because I already know. I researched it. Go to scholars.google.com, type those keywords in, black, male, vegan, Northern Hemisphere. Now, there you go. There's your research. None of it has anything positive to say for pro-vegan. But all of it has something to say contra-vegan. Now, I'm backing up to other research that says veganism is unsustainable for humans, period, across the board. No animal products at all. And your reason for being vegan supposedly is that you are claiming that there is something wrong in the animal treatment industry to produce the meat. Well, that might be 80% of the industry, but there is a whole 20% of the industry who literally grows cattle and chickens like pets. Literally. And the pet doesn't suffer when they taken them to slaughter. Nothing wrong with the meat. There's no toxins in the meat, nothing. So what's your argument against those people? We have had 5 ice ages on this planet. How did we get through them? By eating meat. Humans are here because we ate meat. Because we do eat meat. Because we are omnivores. Because we are adaptable to our environment. That is why humans are superior to all other creatures. Well, that's one of the characteristics. But that is, we are the most adaptable animal on the planet. Yes, we're able to eat plants and get nutrition from them, but we actually are able to process meat better. It's more bioavailable for all the nutrition in meat. Scientific study, facts, those are facts. You can eat all the spinach you want, be it raw, be it cooked. But the same thing in an animal product is more bioavailable. Fact, period. That should tell you that humans are better suited to eating meat. It's not an either or, it's a better suited. Literally, if you have excellent nutrition in the meat that you're consuming, is actually better than the vegetables. And you can have all of the heirloom and GMO. These are the keywords that you should look for when you're looking for your vegetables and fruits. Heirloom and GMO, because GMO no longer means what we thought it meant or what we intended it to mean. The industry has completely flipped that on its head, and now they literally are saying that organic simply means something that is naturally formed, meaning it came out the ground and grew. That's it. That it was not specifically grown in a lab. However, it can be completely GMO and still receive the word organic on it. Organic now means not treated with pesticide, but here's the deal on that. You can treat it with pesticide all the way up until it comes to market. So all of these cultish groups that are forming to combat this and that and the other, you're being used and you've been had. If you want to really have a sustainable diet, have a healthy, non-GMO diet, other than suing Monsanto and the other 5 or 10 corporations just like Monsanto, you would have to find heirloom, organic seeds and grow all of your stuff, raise your own cattle, raise your own chickens, raise your own fish. That is the only way you can be assured in today's society. And yes, there are nice, traditional, organic, heirloom farmers out there who don't mistreat their plants, don't mistreat their animals. The research has been done that proves veganism is not the way. It's not sustainable. It just isn't. And least of which is that vegans develop cancer at a higher rate than the other groups, vegans and vegetarians. Scholars.google.com, go research it. I don't need to argue with anybody, just go research it. My channel is for the truth. It's not to hurt people in it, and I'm not going to treat you like a baby. I'm going to assume you're an adult and you can understand English, and I choose every word that I say, and my words are precise. Like the stupid people going to my videos about ratchet, poor black women with children and saying I'm talking about all black women. Kill yourself, first of all, because I said ratchet, black woman, poor with children. That's a very specific and targeted group. At no point did I say all black women, because it doesn't apply to all black women. And when I say black, male, vegan, living in the northern hemisphere, that is a specific group. And you do not have any research to counter the research that has been done that says it is a detriment to that group. And you don't have research that shows veganism is of benefit to the human population. Now, does it make you lose weight? Can you get a six-pack? Yes. You know how? By treating it like a fad diet. Eating at a calorie deficit. You can eat McDonald's at a calorie deficit and get a six-pack. The guy who did Fat, Sick, and Ugly, or whatever, the McDonald's mini documentary, when they went over his numbers and he said he was fat, well, the thing was, the documentary didn't show you how much he ate. He literally force-fed himself to get the results that he got. Although McDonald's is not fantastic, it's nowhere near what he made it out to be according to the normal use and eating habits of people who go to McDonald's. Now, he tried to sue a lot of journalists who tried to prove him wrong, who not just tried to prove him wrong, but just get to the truth of the matter. What was your diet log? What did it look like? And when they composed their own diet log based on the results that he showed, they showed that he had to binge eat McDonald's to get the results that he got in the documentary. And literally he dropped tons of weight after doing the documentary. Can you get a six-pack from being a vegan or vegetarian? Yes, if you treat it like a fad diet. But you know what? If you treat eating total meat like a fad diet, you will also get a six-pack. In fact, you'll get a six-pack faster because all of that protein, all of that really dense, packed protein will feed your muscles. And the fats in the meat will also feed your body much more efficiently than vegetables and fruits will. Fruits will pack on pounds, actually. I'm not here to hate on anybody. I'm here for humans to live and live more at a much more sustainable rate. Live a happier life, a more prosperous life. And if I see something going on that is not true, I'm going to tell you about it. Vaya con Dios. Thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show.